course a lot over the required to be in Bergen on time. Just to try to be a little ahead of schedule in case the weather would slow us down. In the beginning until late evening, the frequency of the waves were quite okay, as the Prima was sort of riding on several waves at the same time and she was not pitching much at all. So at that time we could continue at good speed, although the wind actually slowed us down a little. We had approximately 50 knots wind at that time, or 26 meters per second. The wave height at that time was approximately 3 to 4 meters. When we started to turn northwest and later towards north, the wind increased more as we actually expected, but also the waves changed character. We got more a combination of waves as well from a little different directions, and that can sometimes be a little difficult to handle or to make comfortable. So at that time we were facing winds around 60 knots and waves as well 4 to 5 meters and some higher than that as well. I can also mention right here, since I said 60 knots or 30 meters per second, that is actually the limit for hurricane force winds. This kind of conditions requires actions from our side, not only to make it as comfortable as possible on board, but we also need to handle the ship in a different way for other very obvious reasons, the safety of all on board. So in the very early morning today, we slowed first down to around 14 knots and later to 12 and below to ensure that we handle the ship according to the weather conditions. The speed reduction is of course significant and we could not be able to reach Bergen on time today. We would have a significant delay and could only have arrived in the very late afternoon. And this would have resulted in cancellation of Geiranger instead. With this in mind, we have, as I mentioned in the beginning of my speech, decided to cancel our call to Bergen today and instead ensure that we will be on time for Geiranger tomorrow. The speed we are doing at the moment will bring us to the entrance of Fjorden at around 2 in the morning tomorrow as planned. I know from previous experience that when we have to cancel a call for weather reasons etc., some guest goes to the guest services desk and use the friendly staff there as an outlet for their frustrations. Please remember that this is my decision and my decision only. I should be the target for that frustration. We have many days left of the cruise and you will see me around, so please feel free to stop me anytime if you need any more explanation for the cancellation or for any other comments that you may have. But please keep in mind, as I said, that friendly staff in the guest services desk have absolutely no more information about the cancellation that I have just given you, and of course nothing to do with the decision. We are all disappointed, including myself. It is always our main target to execute a cruise exactly as planned and promised. But I also expect you all to understand that there is absolutely nothing we can do with Mother Nature and the weather she sends us from time to time. And this is sometimes also not so easy to predict. But I think just looking out the windows today should be a good enough explanation, to be honest with you. Our cruise director will be on the air in the nearest future with some updated activities for you. So I hope that you will be able to enjoy the day at sea even with the weather conditions we are facing. Maybe use this as an opportunity to observe and understand what the weather can be like in an autumn day on the coast of Norway. Thank you.
你看到吗？擦玻璃。刚刚是 Captain 说话。他说今天天气太差了，我们没有办法准时到达 Bergen， 然后到达的时候也会已经是下午很晚的时间了，所以呢，我们今天去 Bergen 的这个行程就会取消，然后我们就会一路开往明天会到达的 port， 所以明天应该可以顺利到达那个 port。风太大，然后天气太差，所以我们速度要变很慢下来。所以我们今天就会是一个 sea day， 大家有听到那个船舱的叽叽咔咔的声音吗？我们就是听这个声音听了一个晚上。It's a sea day。 想了。今天留了一个小礼物给我们的 steward， 我们的 steward 名字叫 Randolph， 谢谢他照顾我们，帮我们整理房间。我们现在在这里等出去 excursion， 他会广播，然后我们就下去楼下出去。
Find on your ticket. Once I call your tour, please proceed to the theater to deck 6 to receive a sticker for you and attach it on your chest. The same way as I did. If you are traveling in a party, just please advise one member to hold all the tickets so you guys are going to end up in the same bus. In case you are needing a poncho because it's raining outside at the moment, you can buy poncho on deck 5 as well as deck 4. Now, the first tour of the day is going to be Herdout Mountain Farm. The tour code is 0311. Please check your tickets. If this is your tour of the day, please proceed to deck 6 to get your seat.
现在要去坐 bus， 然后去我们的 tour。好漂亮哦！很多小瀑布这样下来。
For us, it will be really nice. Yeah. First things first. Please fasten your seatbelts because we got. Yeah, you did good. Because we got quite the strict traffic rules in Norway, so that's very important. I would like to welcome you here at the Geiranger fjord, which is known as one of the most beautiful fjords of Norway, they say. Even though, if you take a look at it here to the left side, for a fjord, it's actually quite small. It's only 16 kilometers long and about 260 meters deep at its deepest point. And that might sound deep, but compared to a lake, for example, but actually it's not. Just to give you a comparison, the deepest lake of Norway is 1,300 meters deep. It's 1.3 kilometers, so that's deep. This one here, actually not so deep. But it has these really stunning surroundings, this almost dramatic atmosphere, especially on a day like today, you can really feel that. And that's why it's got named as one of the most beautiful fjords of Norway. And in 2005, it got also named World Heritage, World Culture and Nature Heritage by UNESCO. The people that decided to live here since many, many generations, they had to develop a quite unique lifestyle to survive in such an area. Part of that unique lifestyle is having very unique roads. 2 of them to be precisely, and we are following one of these unique roads, which is the Eagle Road. This is the one we are on right now, the Eagles Road, which leads us in 11 hairpin bends up the mountain to approximately 600 meters high. However, this small village, named also Geiranger, with only 200 inhabitants by the way, still they got their own school over there. They also got their own chocolate factory and their own beer brewery. So you might say even when they're stuck in winter here due to avalanches, they have a place to send the children to, they got chocolate and they got beer. So what else do you want? Yeah, so today it's mainly about tourism, but you still find farms here at Geiranger, farmers. And especially here at the Eagles Road, we actually do have 3 active farmers that are still working as farmers since many, many, many generations. And they are goat farmers here at the Eagles Road, because if you take a look at how steep these mountains are, goats are basically the only thing that you can put on such steep mountains. They don't really care about that. So these 3 farmers that are living here directly at the Eagles Road, they have together 120 goats that are roaming the area. We do have one of the oldest farms here in Geiranger that is still in use. So that one is seriously a couple of 100 years old, but still in use by the very same family since, like I said, many generations. And they even have these old houses with the grass roof, even though they need to do some reconstruction work on them, need to repair it, but they take good care of it. So if you look down to the right side, you can see this very old farm, or the oldest still active farm of Geiranger. Like I said, approximately 400 years old, some of these houses. And yeah, you can see these nice grass roofs on them as well. These grass roofs used to be a method by the poor people, by the way, to insulate the houses. So it was invented by poor farmers. And you might have noticed that each bend has a little name sign. There in each bend, each of these 11 hairpin bends has a little name sign. For example, we are coming now into Svingen, and Svingen just means bend. That's the Norwegian word for bend. But they are all named after certain landmarks that you find in that bend, certain types of rock or a certain type of tree, stuff like that. And it serves a quite practical purpose. If something happens here on the road, an accident or whatever, something happens and you need to call an ambulance or the police, then you can just say the name of the bend where you are standing, and you not have to say, oh, I think I'm standing in the 3rd bend of the top or something like that. So it's a quite practical purpose. There's one good thing about the rain. The waterfalls are really nice. And the rivers. But I have to tell you, don't feel unfortunate about this weather, because what you experience here right now, we had that the whole summer. And I will tell you about the Seven Sister Waterfall. It was dark. Oh, you were that early. Yeah. I see. All right, the Seven Sister Waterfall, maybe I just noticed they were covered in clouds right now, but we will take this road back when we return from the farm. So hopefully we will see them then, but maybe you can see them when you leave the fjord with the ship, because they are basically, when you get around the corner with the ship, from the ship, you have a really good view on them. Those are 7 waterfalls really close together. They are named the Seven Sisters. And we have a quite nice story about them here. It says that there used to live a farmer on top of that very mountain, and that farmer wanted to have his firstborn child to be a boy. He really wanted to have a son. But he got a girl, he got a daughter, and he was so angry about that he hit the rocks until water came out and we had a waterfall. Now, some of you might have noticed something, right? These waterfalls are called Seven Sisters, so what happens? Yeah, he got 6 more daughters, exactly. And every time he was so angry about it that he hit the rocks until water came out and we got a waterfall. Now, we don't know how this story ends. Maybe he just stopped having children, maybe he finally got a boy, or maybe he just stopped being angry. Anyway, that's how these 7 sisters came to their name. Those are very famous waterfalls. I hope we can see them later. Right now, there's a big fat cloud sitting on them, but we take this route back again. And I know clouds, they like to move. And if not, then maybe you got the chance when leaving the fjord again from your ship. Open up for a view. That waterfall is called the Violin Waterfall because apparently it's shaped like a violin. Yeah, tunnels are always a nice opportunity to take a look at Norway from the inside. Yeah, and we're getting now to a very cute and adorable little village that sits here down at the fjord, which is called Norddal. And here in Norddal, we do have that goat farm that we want to visit.
Welcome everybody. My name is Stein Sande. I'm now for 40 years exactly, because we moved here in 1982 and we built the log house, which is kind of a copy of an old house that was situated down by the road where the brick house is. And so that's from 1910 approximately. So we really, the pendle went back and we wanted something just made of pure pine. So that is it's a log house, a kind of traditional outside. It's not really a copy, but almost. Anyway, and I have a good helping hand here, Nils, who has moved to this little place from Germany. He's kind of a refugee from the crowd of Central Europe, because we have plenty space. We are only about 120 people sleeping here. There are some guests coming now and then, but I mean the population here is only 120 in this little village. And we have thousands and thousands of acres of land. As you see, it's a kind of rough topography, but excellent for goats and people that likes to climb and like the uphill. And unfortunately, it's also downhill. So, and that's rough on the knees. That's for sure. We have kind of specialized in goat milk production. We used to have cows on this farm, sheep, horses, chicken, pigs, but now we have only goats. But that's not only. Goats are tremendous animals and fantastic colleagues, so to say. But they give us a lot of work, milking morning and evening, making trouble for us, because sometimes at this time of the year they're climbing higher and higher and higher, because it's spring up there just before the winter. And they love the plants up there, especially this small, the young goats. And but we have to bring them back. So I have been struggling with the snow sometimes, and they have no worries about tomorrow. They don't know about the weather forecast or the season. They think that the summer will last forever. So, but hopefully we have most of them in the lowland now and more or less ready for being brought into the barn. You can see down with and machines and stuff in these mountains. But goats are very much.
Also the baby.
Yes.
Maybe to rent.
Just help each other here, so I don't want any. But it's just up the stairs, and you will hopefully find plenty cheese. And then there are it's just a traditional white cheese. The same happens as with the brown cheese. The milk sugar caramelizes, the water disappears, and it's very often used. Of course, we can put it on a piece of flatbread, but like on waffles. It's run by a queen. Has been this is just the brown cheese. That is what I have in the pan, but you have to make. And it's called kransekake, and it's used for special occasions like today. it's just the start of a journey. And so you really have to think about.
And they have a nice kitchen. And then we have a Facebook group. And Norwegians are using Facebook.
开始下今年的新的雪了。
And this lake is called Eidsvatn, and especially in summer it's a very famous spot for trout fishing.
夏天的时候会有很多人来这边钓鱼，然后冬天的时候呢，这个湖就会结冰，然后会结厚的冰，所以就会有人来这里开车来这里，然后在这个湖上面开车，好酷哦！
Because I say he did an amazing job. And I would also like to thank you guys for being with me today. It was a great pleasure having you. I enjoyed it a lot. I had a lot of fun, and I hope you enjoyed it too. So, you know, maybe we see each other one fine day in Norway again. And until then, I say also thank you and goodbye.
Thank you.
Pay attention to your sound, the one that's coming from your mouth. Don't mean to turn it upside down. I really wanna hear you out. I can't know how it is to be where you so calm.
那里离门太近，我怕出去风太大。